Right, well, good morning, bikers. This is actually day 2 of my Highland fling. Yesterday was just a straight 400 miles from South Bucks, just outside London, up to Glasgow. So that's up the blue line, the M6, that you can see in the middle of this picture, hopefully, up until it becomes the M74 and through to Glasgow. And then I'm just over here somewhere by the airport symbol. At a budget hotel, which has been perfectly fine for the night. You might see more of that on the helmet cam, but we'll see what gets left on the cutting floor. Okay, so day 1, straight motorway run up to Glasgow, just a base here to get started. And today we start the really touristy stuff, so we're going to do the classic main drag here, the A82, up past Loch Lomond, up through Glasgow, and to Fort William. Then along through Spain Bridge, which has a very cool Commander Memorial. Again, down the standard touristy drag, all got nice, these little green shadings here on the map mean it's scenic. So along Loch Ness, down here, across here. Now I haven't done any fancy route planning, I'm just going to stick in simple destinations in the sat nav, so hopefully I'll try and take this scenic shortcut through here. And our destination is Lairg, here in the Highlands, which is going to be my base for a couple of days after that. We'll talk more about what we'll do from there when we get there. Anyway, hopefully, there'll be more from the helmet cam shortly. Okay, good morning, bikers. Well, that is the Muthu Glasgow River Hotel. Definitely a little on the tired side, but the new owners used to be the Erskine Bridge Hotel, and they do claim they're doing renovations, and maybe they're doing it. But anyway, in the interim, it was a perfectly good stop for what I needed, and most cost effective. So it was £60 by the time got bar dinner and a drink, bed and breakfast. So yeah, can't complain at all. Right, so note the potholes, you can see it's a bit run down, as they say. Anyway, off we go. The weather forecast's okay. I think our immediate mission is to find some fuel and head for the Highlands. Right, so this would be the Erskine Bridge, which you won't be able to see from here, but she's up there's a hotel off to the right. Probably can't see that in the camera, but she's one of these massive bits of engineering. I don't know whether that's to let big ships underneath or whether the Scots engineers just like building really big bridges. Anyway, it is suitably impressive. However, my mission, which I should choose to accept, is to get away from Glasgow. A82 looks good, doesn't it? Just got to Loch Lomond. It's dead still. Although the helmet cam won't do a great job of showing it. I thought it'd stop now just while it's dead calm. It might be the only time this week, who knows. Cool, eh? Here we go. Back on the bike. Okay, so that was Luss filling station, card only unmanned station, but that's fine. 13.44 litres. And we're filled up and ready to go. Bikers. Right, so Yeah, so speaking of fuel, so yesterday we did the 400-mile run from South Bucks up to Glasgow Western Erskine Bridge, and this is kind of typical for this little Honda with me and about, I guess, probably about 30 kilos of luggage, I suppose, broadly speaking. And a big screen on, a couple of panniers, running at motorway speeds. So I just get on the motorway and more or less sit at the speed limit, which is 70 miles an hour here in the UK, so it uses a bit more than we're just tittering around the back roads. So typically, and yesterday was spot on, I get about 220 miles from full to the point that the light starts flashing to fill me up, which in theory is supposed to be about 2.7 litres. Of course, I'm not quite sure how full you have to be to get to the 17.5 litres that it supposedly holds, so it's probably always just a little bit short of that. Anyway, I put in just under 14 litres, which is about typical, and that's again today just under 14 litres, so that's pretty much par for the course. And these lower speeds, I imagine I'll get a bit better mileage today, so I'll have no trouble getting to Lairg, which is supposed to be about 210 odd miles from the hotel in Glasgow, so that should be fuel for the day. And despite these cars just coming now, it's been surprisingly quiet. Didn't really know what to expect. On the one hand, it's a Monday in May. On the other hand, things are unlocking and people are caught home staycationing, so my concern is the CB500 might be quite busy, but we'll see how we go, and I've got some strategies to try and minimise the impact. In the interim, look at Loch Lomond. Now I'm sure in the camera those hills won't look anywhere near as impressive as what they do sitting here on the bike. That's what people come up here for, isn't it? I guess that's the perils. I've been watching the weather's been dreadful down south for the last couple of weeks, and the forecast was not great, but actually yesterday it was pretty good. I had a couple of heavy rain showers, a bit of rain on the way into Glasgow, but generally speaking it was actually pretty good and much better than what it looked on my weather forecast. And today even the forecast not looking too good. So the moral of the story being long range forecasts are just that. Don't get too hung up on them, and just pack your layers, which I have done. Look at that. You see that? Beautiful reflections in the water, and I don't know if you can see in the mirror there, nobody up my chuff. Blimey, mate, that's a bit of a shock, isn't it? Whoa, the freedom of not having bloody nose to tail traffic all the time. Look at that. I've been concerned about the weather forecast. It's bloody beautiful. Blimey, mate, almost perfect. I mean, a little bit of cloud around these places is actually it's a benefit, isn't it? It's not a bug. Just take care here. Hi guys. More bikers. You're pushing quite hard there. It's the trouble, isn't it, trying to keep up with your mates. Right, so we've just stopped to go and look at the Falls of Lairg. Don't know how far I've got to go, hopefully not very far, because these riding boots are not made for walking, but I thought I'd just take a shot of the classic Highland River there, and off we go. Alright, this would appear to be the Falls of Lairg. Not that bad. Lovely swimming hole there. Worn out over the millennia. There we go, full to filling. Right, so how interesting is this? Here I am in the middle of nowhere, stopped to use their facilities, which are very kindly signposted and open, and look at that little e-charging centre right here in the middle of nowhere. Interesting, eh? All I need now is to solve the problem of the hours to do the charging, but there you go. Certainly it's not out of the question if they can solve that. Right, onwards and upwards. Now I've just passed a little town and there are a bunch of walkers. Now I don't know if you can see on the camera, but on the right there, can you see a walker there? They might be really little, and another one up ahead on a wide trail. Now I have no idea, but I am betting, like anything, that that is the West Highland Way, and that's the end trail. Good, keen walkers. Doing what you should be doing, right? Out here exercising, unlike us blooming lazy bikers. Oh, that's a pretty cool railway there, I don't know if you can see that. But yeah, so I'm thinking, you probably can't see, but yeah, there's a trail down there, there's walkers all along it. Got to be the West Highland Way, hasn't it? Not a crazy idea to do that, but not today. Look at that, there's even a train on that railway, can you see that? I was thinking it looked pretty disused. Apparently not. So far the traffic's pretty good, really. There's a little bit of traffic, not much. It's a New Zealand thing though, isn't it? It doesn't have to be a lot of traffic, a little bit. It's there, you tend to get caught up with it. But that's okay, because I'm not in a rush at all. I'm literally just tootling along, enjoying the scenery. I know this camera will not be doing justice to those there hills out there. I know people here, they might call them mountains, but it's a hill to me, but I'll grant you, it's a blooming good hill. That I will give you. Memories of my youth in the deep south of New Zealand, the deep south of the South Island. So I used to like to do in my youth was climb hills, sometimes really steep hills, not mountains, but just hills. I claim that's why I've got such fat calves and legs, right? So that's my story, I'm sticking to it. I'm not precisely sure where we are. I think we're getting close to Glasgow though, so the locals will know whether that's Glasgow up ahead or not. I'm sure there'll be signs somewhere. Let people like me know. But anyway, this is why we come this way, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Soft light, all the browns and the soft colours. So I decided to stop up by the hills that you could just see a second ago. Get my phone out. It's obviously no camera's going to capture just how it really is when you're there, but it doesn't flatten and shrink the terrain quite as much as the bike's can. So just have a quick scan around here so you get a better view. So I just switch on here. This is got to be a specky bit of riding, hasn't it? I mean, look at this. Got a friend that lives in Glasgow, I've known for a lot of years, and met him. He's English actually, but he's lived in Scotland for many, many years. We met him in Auckland a long time ago, and he said, yeah, this is one of the great biking roads of the world, and actually he's absolutely right. I mean, it's just stunning, isn't it? If you haven't done it, make some time. I know that, you know, for most of us it's time killer, isn't it? And that's why people like me a lot of people like me with grey hair, you know, and the empty nesters. But you got to put on the list and make sure you do it. Even if it is a wee bit nippy at times, but I'm a little bit underdressed today, but it's the deliberate decision because I just, you know, I've got all the safety gear on, but I actually feel better riding, less trussed up, so I've made a bit of a decision to just be a wee bit on the cold side, and it's fine. Look at that, I don't know if you can see that. Look at the state of that. Okay, it's just a quick stop here at Spain Bridge, one of my favourite memorials around the country, the memorial to the commandos who trained here back in World War II. So we'll stop and have a nosy. Alright, so how's this for a lunch stop? Just looking for a picnic spot alongside Loch Ness without any luck, and across the bridge you can see closest to the camera here at Glenmoran, little wee place, nobody stopping, everyone's whizzing through, a couple of little hotels, but they had a nice car park and some picnic benches, so I stopped and had my lunch, and they had a wee sign saying to the falls, so here I am, going where the crowds are not. That's a win, I reckon. Okay, so that was lunch at Glenmoran, a little place where no one stops. But actually nice little picnic benches, perfectly good and unused car park, and as hopefully you saw, see me, it came out alright, and I put it in the video, a nice little set of small waterfalls. Right, so from here we're off down Loch Ness. Not holding our breath to spot Nessie, of course. Might spot a few white vans though. So just down to Long Rock, Loch Ness to Urquhart Castle, and then going to go cross country through some of the back roads, hopefully getting away from the main tourist traffic flows, and sort of head more cross country towards Lairg in the Highlands. That's our base for tonight. So that is the draft plan, folks. So this is interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen this before. So just in a back road here, although it's actually an A road, the A833. Anyway, so they've got, you know, lights ahead and a sign saying convoy system in operation. So I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, so it's just lights, you know, wait for the light and go in groups. But actually no, you've got a little van ahead of us, little convoy van escorting us through. It's quite interesting. I guess you guys, you people will all be thinking, no, I've seen that many times. I guess a new one on me. So they really want us to keep to the speed limit, don't they? I guess it certainly ensures that. Meanwhile, because you can't see the little convoy van, and there's always the risk I might just be having you on here, we'll just enjoy the view. But there he is, convoy vehicle, no overtaking. So it does exactly what it says on the tin. They said convoy system, they meant convoy system. Well, the inevitable has happened. Been riding in very good conditions all day, a little bit cool this morning, which was fine, but barely a spot of rain the whole day despite the forecast. But we're just about half an hour out from Lairg now, and can see the rain coming. There's dark clouds over the hills, so stop, and I've gone from gear I had on, which is, you know, showerproof definitely, to my full rains, full wets as I'd say in MotoGP. So my rain-sealed jacket that I did the little prologue video on, and actually I've got a set of 3/4 mountain bike pants over my textile trousers,
The trousers themselves are generally, I think, pretty good actually, quite waterproof, but they're not that expensive, and the pockets are not, so it's not a big deal. But I don't really like the pockets being wet, so I've got some old mountain biking 3/4 trousers which are actually really good. They just slip over the top, and that will keep the bottom half completely dry, including the pockets. Because I'm mountain biking overpants, so they weren't particularly cheap, but I think they've got a really nice lining in them. I don't know exactly what it is, but I guess it's designed to stop you from chafing while you're wearing them on the bike, but it makes it nice and slippery, so it's easy to get on. I can even just slip them on with my full boots on, and then move around nicely over the textiles. So yeah, so there we go. So it's been a cracking day, really, to be honest, and actually a bit of rain right at the end. It's good as time as any for it, really. In fact, it's perfect if you have to have it some time during the day. I prefer when we're heading for the hotel. So I might see you in about half an hour when we get there. Right, well, this would be Lairg. I'm sure the locals don't say it like that, but Main Street. That would be my spot right there. I've gone just a wee bit too far.